Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
I had to put on my reaching hat. Hear me out. Hi, thank you for clicking. Today we're going to be diving deep down the rabbit hole into the remainder of the documents. Before I get into it, you guys know I have to give my thanks to my returning subscribers, old and new. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for coming back, watching my videos, liking, commenting, any and everything that you do. I appreciate it so much. And also, if you've sent me an email and I haven't responded, I'm very sorry. Since I put my email in my description, I've been getting lots of emails, tips. I really do appreciate them. Don't mistake me. Please keep sending them. I just can't get to everyone as soon as I want to, but even if I don't respond, I try to read them at least and save the link or whatever it is that you send me. So just wanted to apologize for that. If you are new here, hi, this is me. I wear tinfoil hat while I talk about true crime and conspiracies, and the reason why I do that is because I can. Alrighty, so let's get into the video. Oh, please subscribe if that didn't turn you off already. Okay, moving on. Great start. In case you guys haven't seen it, I have made a previous video regarding the first chunk of documents that I found from this document dump. I'll have that link down below as well, but I'll give you a quick recap so that you can follow along. Basically, what you need to know is that Vivian Lewis came out with her report. That report basically said that Lori was hallucinating and had delusions and was part of a fanatical religion, and that she possibly was feeding these things to Tylee, and that Joseph Ryan showed no to low risk of the things that Lori accused him of. Some documents that show that there was a trial, a jury trial that was going to be had about Tylee's custody and these allegations. And in this trial, there was a list, one from Joseph Ryan and one from Lori Vallow, about what they didn't want to be mentioned in the trial. So things they want to hide from the jurors. And the difference in the lists tells you a lot. Joseph's list, as you can see here, there is basically 5 items on the list. Now I want you to look at the exhaustive list that Lori wanted to make sure nobody mentioned in front of the jurors. She had, by the way, over 30 things. So we're gonna skip to number 6. She didn't want any mention that respondent Lori Vallow is a Mormon. Evidence of religious beliefs of a witness is not admissible to enhance or impair credibility, and that was granted. Now this one I find to be the most revealing, and I think we need to talk about this a little bit more. And that is number 8. Any mention that respondent Lori Vallow drinks or spends excessively on liquor. Intoxication is not an issue in this trial, and this evidence would unduly prejudice the jury against Lori and Vallow. Denied. There's going to be a lot of bombshells that I'm going to go through here, but I'm going to give it to you in chronological order because that's the only way that this makes sense. But trust me, you're going to want to stay till the end because just trust me. Number 9, it says any mention that any party is or witness is rich or poor, which is not relevant and is prejudicial, but that was withdrawn, and so there was no ruling on that. Then we have number 11 and 12, which you can read here, but they're really not, they're just like technical stuff and they were agreed to. I'm gonna put in the other pages just so you see how many things she asked for, but there's not really anything very noteworthy like the other thing I mentioned. So you can, pause and screenshot that if you would like. Number 32 of what Lori doesn't want the jury to know. Any attempt by petitioner's counsel to introduce testimony or evidence of an alleged altercation between petitioner Joseph Anthony Ryan and Alex Cox. Now, we know this story, right? I mean, if you don't know, I have a video about it. I'll link it below. But essentially, Lori was making these accusations about Joseph Ryan and what he did to Tylee and Colby. And her brother, as we know, Alex Cox, he's willing to do pretty much anything to make Lori happy. And there's a reference to their weird relationship in an email. Again, I'll talk about that later. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, calm down. So Alex Cox assaulted and tased Joseph Ryan. We know that this incident occurred. We know that Alex Cox actually served time in jail for what he did to Joseph Ryan. And so this incident is what is being referenced here. And then this is the last page, 38 things that she wanted. And I don't see anything here really worth mentioning. But again, oh yes, I do. Number 37, any reference to or characterization of termination of parental rights as being like a death sentence. Now this is really important because if you'll remember Vivian Lewis's report, she says that she was shocked that Lori said that she believed death would be a better option than giving Tylee to Joseph Ryan because of the allegations. Now, whose death are we talking here? And then there's a witness list as well. I'm going to just briefly put it here on the screen for you, and you can screenshot that if you want. Again, over 30 people that Lori wants to call in. Even the man around the corner who has no idea what's going on, she wants him to be a witness too. There's more. Now we're going to get our first report to the court. I'm going to read you several of these. They're going to happen periodically over the course of these documents, and they are reports from the New Guardian ad litem, Mary Fogel, and they always are very revealing. This is the report to the court dated September 27, 2007. I was appointed as guardian ad litem in the case in late July of 2007, representing Tylee Ryan, age 5. Unfortunately, this case has been extremely volatile and the parents and child are experiencing significant anxiety. There are many disturbing events in this case that included a tasering incident at Kids Exchange after the first supervised visit and an alleged assault in the courthouse cafeteria after a hearing. I am concerned about the level of tension affecting Tylee's emotional well-being if visits continue during this period of uncertainty. I think that's supposed to be affecting with an A, but then again, that is why I'm an annoying person. Okay, Tylee has spoken to me about being scared and not being able to sleep at night. Aww. The mother and her attorney were concerned due to the child's inability to sleep since visits began and asked that I stop visits so that she could be less distressed. Interesting. There's going to be a lot more, and they're going to talk about things like Tylee being over medicated. It's going to talk about a very weird, strange overnight bag that Lori packed. We'll get into it. And then there's also going to be some very graphic things and also some details of those graphic things. But we're going to power through it and get through it the best we can. But I'm just warning you that, you know, this is very mild. We're just easing into it now. So the next thing I want to talk about is the second report by the new doctor that, remember Vivian Lewis, she did the report that got dismissed. This is the new one. So this doctor is Stephen Thorne. He's a clinical and forensic psychologist, PhD, out of Austin, Texas. And this report was written on December 23rd, 2007, to whom it may concern. I was recently contacted by Miss Mary Fogel, guardian ad litem, and asked to perform a psycho-blank evaluation of Mr. Joseph Ryan. The psycho-blank evaluation was initially ordered by Honorable Lisa. Okay, this stuff is not as important. We're just going to skip. And again, if you are interested, you could always screenshot. I want to talk about this. Listen to this paragraph. It's right here with the as has been, okay? As has been well documented throughout the course of the current legal matter, Mr. Ryan has been accused of engaging in blank deviant behavior with his former stepson, and they have the date of birth. This is Colby, I believe. And with his daughter Tylee, and they have her birthday. Mr. Ryan's former stepson has reportedly made several outcries indicating that, beginning when he was approximately 7.5 years old, Mr. Ryan, as the active partner, anally sodomized him on multiple occasions over the course of 2 years, and that he also forced him to drink, it's a bodily fluid that rhymes with worm, from a jar. This is unbelievable. My God, I can't believe it. With respect to his own daughter, Tylee, Mr. Ryan's ex-wife, has reported to officials that Tylee told her that Mr. Ryan, quote, crashed into her 2 times a day, end quote. Based on information made available to this examiner, including a conversation with Tylee's current therapist, it does not appear that Tylee has made a formal outcry alleging blank abuse by her father. And then it talks about here. There have been sexual abuse allegations naming Mr. Ryan as the perpetrator by Mr. Ryan's stepson and Ms. Vallow's biological son, Colby Ryan, age 11. The case was closed and identified as unable to determine by CPS. The Hays County District Attorney recently took the case before the grand jury, and it was no billed on October 10, 2007. The allegations involving Tylee Ryan were reported by the mother, Lori Vallow, naming Joe Ryan as the perpetrator, and was closed as ruled out by CPS. The aforementioned statements provided by Ms. Fogel are consistent with information reviewed from available CPS records. And now, listen to this. With respect to the aforementioned previous CPS investigations, a review of a CPS chart note dated August 14, 2006 does show the following in regards to a conversation with Detective Scrocky of the San Marcos Police Department. Detective Scrocky stated that she observed the videotaped forensic interview of Colby and Tylee at Roxanne's house. Roxanne's house, by the way, it's like this children kind of group association thing. A safe place to like discuss these things. This same CPS report also references the following from a November 13, 2006 conversation with Susan Shinsky, therapist of Roxanne House. She stated that Tylee has still not made an outcry to her. She stated that she is concerned that Tylee is being pushed by her mother to make an outcry, and that she has been seeing Tylee since she was 3, and she stated that she has told Ms. Vallow to not push Tylee into saying anything, but that Ms. Vallow has refused to take this advice. She stated that Tylee almost, quote, spilled the beans, end quote, during one session, but then closed up. She stated that Ms. Vallow is very anxious and is tied up in multiple legal situations. She stated that this anxiousness appears to be affecting Tylee. It should be noted that with regard to the outcry made by Colby Ryan, results from the most recent CPS investigation did note the following. The outcry is described as suspect by law enforcement due to the inconsistencies in his story. There is also concern regarding the unwillingness of Ms. Vallow to provide law enforcement with Colby's mattress, evidence that could be crucial to the criminal investigation. This report was done in December of 2007. So now I want to talk to you guys about this crazy incident that happened on February 7th, 2008. When Mr. Ryan got to Kids Exchange and picked up Tylee, he and his supervisor, Ms. Delansky, noticed right away that they were being followed by a maroon dual-wheeled pickup truck and by a white pickup truck with a toolbox. In view of past happenings, meaning remember when Alex Cox tased Joseph Ryan, those are the past happenings, Mr. Ryan called 911 and reported the facts. He was told to go to a public place in Williamson County and was advised that the sheriff would arrive to check out the situation. He was instructed to stay in his car with the flashers going. He did that, and about an hour later, a Williamson County Sheriff's deputy appeared and got the license plate numbers of the pursuing vehicle. Mr. Ryan was released to go to his home, and during this process, he called Sergeant Carter from the Austin Police Department, who had previously been part of the security detail at Kids Exchange when the exchanges were made. Sergeant Carter told him to go into the house, unlock the doors, and call the police to report that the pursuing team had showed up at Mr. Ryan's neighborhood and that they were parked around the corner from his house. He was instructed to call Williamson County authorities to check on the pursuers who were parked near his home. He waited in the house and hoped to hear from Williamson County, but they did not call. When it became clear that he needed to get back to Kids Exchange for the return, he again called Sergeant Carter, Mr. Ryan says that the following vehicles were too close and that they frightened his supervisor who was with him. He says that the presence and the stalking of him is an interference with his supervisor and an interference with his possession and should be prohibited. It appears that the stalking is likely to continue because it has been claimed to be, quote, perfectly legal, end quote, by Ms. Vallow's counsel. Accordingly, Joseph Ryan requests that the court order that Ms. Vallow and her privies not be at or near Kids Exchange at the time of the visits, nor at or near his house during his visits. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the next report to the court. Remember I told you Mary Fogel, guardian ad litem, reports to the court. This one is on Valentine's Day of 2008. Given the information of the one visit that occurred since the order on January 11, 2008, I am concerned that there is a heightened potential for violence and physical endangerment in this situation that could potentially involve Tylee. Oh my God, these people are trying to save her. 2 pickup trucks were observed following Mr. Ryan from Kids Exchange to his home and parking near his home during the visit. Mr. Ryan reports a threatening phone message that followed. I am disturbed by the supervisor's report that while her father was visibly shaken, a police officer met them on the highway and they followed his directions to go to the house and keep the doors locked. Tylee had no emotional reaction at all. It was as if nothing was happening. With a psychological indicating a high level of repressed anxiety and a history of police officers and bodyguards involved with her visitation, her emotional and mental health care are at risk. Seemingly, Tylee has grown accustomed to adults who are highly upset and accustomed to police officers and bodyguards at the age of 5. Now we have another document. Remember when I was telling you guys about the over-medicating? A report about Tylee being over-medicated? Let me read this to you now. Okay, so this is dated February 28th, 2008. I received an observation from the supervisor on February 25th, 2008 that was disturbing. If I believed that Ms. Vallow was over-medicating her daughter or making her stay up late in order to be lethargic during a visit with her father, I would have to schedule a hearing immediately. If I believed Ms. Delansky threatened Tylee or her family in any way, I would be required to schedule a GAL report to the court and ask that she be removed as a supervisor and or reported to the police. In addition, I would be required to report both of these incidents to CPS if I believed them to be of genuine concern. I do not believe Ms. Vallow would directly or intentionally harm her child. I do not believe Ruth Delansky would ever threaten a child or intentionally harm anyone. My conversations with Ms. Smith indicate that she did not have concerns that will warrant a report to CPS or the police. Of course, neither of us can guarantee that our intuitions are correct. I have discussed this with my supervisor extensively. This is a pattern that has continued to spiral Tylee's life into a dramatic and destructive situation that I do think is harmful, and I have outlined in previous letters and reports to the court. If these events and situations persist, I believe it becomes more and more possible to overlook something truly dangerous or exaggerate something that is manipulative in nature. It is a dangerous pattern. Very disturbing, but let me read you a summary of some of these allegations that have been made that were included in this report. February 28, 2008, consult with Leslie Smith. Weekend of February 16th, Ms. Vallow reported to Leslie Smith that Tylee told her Ms. Delansky said something mean to her. Ms. Vallow flew back to Arizona on Sunday, so Ms. Smith did not have a chance to discuss this with Tylee. How convenient. Then, February 25th, 2008, phone message from Ruth Delansky. Concern regarding Tylee appearing to be lethargic and experiencing back pain during the visit on February 25th, 2008. She was concerned about the level of lethargy noted. February 26, 2008, consult with Leslie Smith. Stated that she met with Tylee on February 25th, 2008. She appeared alert and well, did mention hurting her back on the trampoline, discussed this with Ms. Vallow, mentioned that Tylee made an odd comment about something said by Ms. Delansky during the last visit, would discuss on February 27th during the meeting. Ms. Smith reported that Tylee said something along the lines of, quote, Ms. Ruth said something mean to me. She asked what? Tylee said something along the lines of, Miss Ruth said she would burn my whole family and kill us all. No tears or indicators of fear or upset. Miss Smith questioned, where were you when she said this? In the living room playing checkers. Where was your daddy? Dad was in the kitchen, but he heard it. What did he say? When I went to tell him, he said, well, just let her get away with it. Continued to maintain that she liked going to dance and was fine with Miss Delansky. Did say, quote, I don't want to spend the night. I don't know. What do we think? So many people warned about Lori. So many people said the kids are in danger. So many people. And yet, even Charles Vallow to the police several times on several body cams, like, she's threatened to kill me. She's threatening to do that. And nothing. She's fine. Not a scratch on her. Same with Chad. But all these people around them are gone. I hope she gets COVID-19, 18, 20, 25, and 26. Anyway. Now, another bombshell. Honestly, guys, everything in here is shocking because the amount, like, I've got it narrowed down to 86 documents here that I'm talking about. I don't know how many I'm actually going to put in the video, but I'm reading 86 documents and I read 1,800 documents. Next thing is Lori's lawyer quits. This is the J. Hindera, and listen to why he says he quits. Here's the document. It says, good cause exists for withdrawal of John J. Hindera as counsel in that he is unable to effectively communicate with Lori Vallow in a manner consistent with good attorney-client relations. And you go here and you see here's Lori's signature at the bottom, and there is the lawyer's signature. So even her lawyer is like, I can't do it. The next thing I have for you is emails. These are emails that Joseph Ryan sent Lori at Lori4Style. So Lori forwards this to her attorney. This was Friday, May 23rd, 2008 at 10:30 in the morning. John, these are ridiculous. Send these to Judge Livingston. Lori. And then this is the email that Joseph Ryan sent that she believed to be ridiculous, and he says some crazy things in both of the emails. So let's start with the first one. It says, Lori and Charles, it appears the table has turned significantly. ... Charles, you are 2 months behind on your child support. The health care for your children has been terminated for non-payment. Your house payment, car payment for both cars appear to be behind, and not sure if you can squeeze any more equity of your upside down position with your house. Whoa, that is savage. Also, appears the ranch Lori thought you owned is under another person's name and you just borrow. You have played all your cards, and it appears you are a complete wreck at this point. Well documented for drug, steroid, and alcohol abuse. Don't need to comment incongruence with Mormon principles and doctrine that Lori abuses, but values at the same time. It also appears you transferred your great trait of physical abuse to Colby, and now he's acting out per your instructions against his half-sister. Make no mistake that I am completely concerned about Tylee, and you have completely failed as a step-parent. Could not be more disappointed in who you really are. And more importantly, the values you transfer to innocent children. I also believe professionals have you pegged correctly as the stereotypical blank, starts with a P, ends with file, and will not rest until you are investigated for who you really are. Let me be very clear, you are scum. And I am now going to make sure you read this email and realize everything is about to turn on you quickly. You played your sick cards, showed your true colors, and demonstrated, I think he meant to say completely, demonstrated your complete lack of manhood to fulfill your obligations to your family and children. Also, do not call me with your usual BS, quote, you don't know who I am, but when we hit you, it will be quick, end quote. Let's make no mistake, you are a coward, and refusing to be subpoenaed is 100% proof. You never showed up for the trial or any hearings, telling me the steroids probably took their full effect to shrink your manhood to the size of a pea. Be a man and stand before the court. I know John Hindera probably taught you how to be a man, and he is also, that's Lori's lawyer, and he is also subjected to the court for using the same unprofessional and demonizing tactics. So please forward to him to present at the next hearing. Maybe you and John share more than we thought, ? He says you owe him $50K just for Lori. What do you owe him for Cheryl? You said you had everything, but it appears to be another BS story with your attorney, court-appointed therapist, and other professionals to help the children. I noticed in your email you have all kinds of money to fight, but it seems to be the same size of your manhood. Must be smaller than expected. And reason Lori has moved to Phoenix to live with her brother, who also has some legal problems. By the way, Tylee thinks Alex checked into a hotel, so just as well. Is that comment about Lori moving to Phoenix because of Charles' manhood, and then she wants to be with Alex? Why would she want to be with her brother if her husband's manhood? I don't know. I'm not even gonna go there. But if you know, it's very Targaryen. You know about the Targaryens. They wed brothers and sisters for years. So there's more. There's another email. So now this email, it's the same day, it's a minute later from when Lori forwarded that email to her lawyer. A minute later, she forwards this second email again to her lawyer. And this one is, she says, John, this is the worst. Please, I don't want him contacting me. Lori. I'm giving you dramatic readings of these emails. I hope you are appreciating that. Okay, Lori. I spoke with Cheryl yesterday. Now, Cheryl, if you'll remember, is Charles Vallow's ex-wife. I spoke with Cheryl yesterday concerning some interactions between Zach and Tylee to see if she can talk to him about a few things. During the brief and cordial conversation, she mentioned that Charles is behind on child support, other payments, and the kids' medical coverage has been canceled. Not sure if this is for Tylee as well, and should not, since it is my understanding that she cannot be on two policies, but that is not the reason for this email. I have Tylee covered for medical and dental on my policy. Then he continues here and he says, on Colby, I'm sure all the moving and transient stuff is very hard on him. Tylee's head was sensitive to the touch when Ruth went to put a little hair clippy in and said that Colby pushed her so hard her head went through the wall. She also mentioned that her head hurt and described a headache type symptom. This is concerning to me, as you can tell, and I just want to do whatever I can to help. Tylee is our child and Colby is her brother, so that makes us a connected family. Please take Tylee to the doctors to have her head checked for a concussion. This is why I'm sending the medical information. If you need help with the copay, please have them call me and I give them my card over the phone. Last, Tylee was very tired and hungry on Sunday during the drop-off, but once I was holding her, she calmed down immediately. Too cute watching her eat her Sonic cheese sandwich with half in each hand. The next thing is another report to the court, and this talks about Tylee's trauma and hospitalizations, and I think it's worth sharing. So this is on July 14, 2008, and it says, report to the court. It is my understanding that the court wishes to review progress and issues in this case, and I will attempt to encapsulate some of the concerns and activities that I am aware of since our last hearing on June 13, 2008. The treatment team invited me to participate with them in their meeting on July 1st. At that time, there were concerns raised regarding Tylee's mother misrepresenting information, primarily regarding Tylee's medical intake forms. At the same meeting, Ms. Smith informed us that Tylee reported being happy about the visits with her dad and wanting those visits to continue during their last session. Ms. Smith then reported that Tylee added something along the lines of, I am scared about overnights. When Ms. Smith questioned her about this, she said something like, because Joe molested me and Colby. When Tylee's mother came into the session towards the end, Ms. Smith reports that Tylee looked at her mother and said, I told her. This is insane. This is an addendum to the report I just read you. And it was filed the day after. And it's like a timeline of events. And oh my God, let me just start. So starting from June 30th, 2008, Tylee tells Leslie Smith that she doesn't want to visit during her overnights because Joe molested her and Colby. July 3rd, 2008, Tylee tells Dr. Wilcox that this happened when she was 4 years old. When Dr. W asked her if she was ever saw her dad alone when she was 4, Tylee said that no, that was right. It wasn't last year. It was 4 years ago when she was 1. And then the same day, again, it says, Tylee tells me that she doesn't want to spend overnights with Joe because she didn't want to be away from her mommy. No other reason given. July 7th, 2008. Prior to a session, Lori informs Leslie that Tylee reported seeing needles in Joe's bathroom. During that session, Tylee told Leslie that she saw needles in Joe's bathroom. Then July 11th, 2008, Tylee tells Dr. Wilcox that she doesn't want to talk with Joe about being molested. When asked about that, Tylee became tearful and said he might get mad because, quote, maybe it wasn't true, end quote. So here we have an admission from Tylee that, quote, maybe it wasn't true. I don't know about Colby and whether that whole thing is real and maybe Lori took that and ran with it and applied it to Tylee to get child support money. I don't know. Now I want to switch gears and talk about the next thing, which is, remember I mentioned a weird overnight bag? Yeah. Okay, this is a bit frustrating because the picture that I have for you that was in the court documents is useless picture, but I'll show it to you anyway. But it made me angry because of how useless the picture was. Okay, this is from Mary Fogel, The Guardian, and it's dated August 5th, 2008. To the parties involved in the Lori Vallow case, I am curious about the contents of Tylee's overnight bag on her first overnight visit with her father. This is a blurry picture, but it includes 2 toy guns, a diaper, a baby blanket, and what appear to be very small clothes. This is confusing given the mother's keen sense of Tylee's age, size, developmental stage, and interests. Sincerely, Mary Fogel. And then here's a picture. Now ignore the watermark from the YouTuber I got this from, but if you can, you see just like some weird thing here. It looks kind of like cotton or a fabric, and then there's like a weird white splotch. It is the most useless picture on the face of the, it made me angry how useless this is, but I don't know if the copier and it was actually, I don't know. I don't know what that's about, why she gave her baby stuff for her over. I don't know if that was intentional or if she was drunk or she just lost it. Now this next report to the court is an incident that happened with Charles Vallow and Lori's lawyer's wife, that Charles Vallow hit her. Okay, let me just read it to you. So this is dated August 28th, 2008. To the Honorable Judge Laura Livingston. Mr. Hendera, that's Lori's lawyer, and Leslie Smith have reported to me that they saw Mr. Vallow physically assault Cheryl Hendera in the courthouse after our hearing on the 22nd of August, just after the alleged verbal threat to Mr. Wheeler in your courtroom. Both of these situations are being reported to the police as far as I know. The next thing I have to go over is also very, very graphic and disturbing, and it's about an incident that happened. Okay, let's just get into it. So this is filed by Joseph Ryan, and this is what it says. Ms. Vallow has now reported to the court and the Child Protective Authorities that her stepson was recently in Tylee's bedroom after she went to sleep, and that the boy was masturbating. According to the report of Cheryl Wheeler, the boy's mother, both Ms. Vallow and Mr. Vallow said to her on the telephone that they knew that the child was in Tylee's room. Under the circumstances of this and the Vallow case, it is difficult to understand how Ms. Vallow could have allowed Tylee to be alone with a 12-year-old boy after dark while she was in bed asleep. Meanwhile, according to reports, Mr. Vallow has assaulted Ms. Hendera, the wife of his lawyer, and Ms. Vallow's lawyer in the 2 custody cases. The continuing chaos and sexuality at the Vallow house, along with the non-compliance of Miss Vallow and the treatment plan, constitute an emergency, and the court should issue orders instantly removing Tylee from Miss Vallow's home. So, you guys, what happened in these homes? Like, these people are twisted, and there's a sexual element to all of it that I don't think is explored enough here. And then the whole religious thing that they shield it with this religion, just the whole thing is so weird. It's now July 15, 2009. And now we hear about Tylee and the pancreatitis and all that stuff you guys have been hearing. Here is the document. Again, this is from Mary Fogel, the guardian ad litem. She says, I was appointed by Judge Blank as the second guardian ad litem for Tylee Ryan in the midst of this highly dramatic and emotional custody suit in late July of 2007. At that time, Tylee was approximately 3 years of age. Tylee, now age 6, was diagnosed with pancreatitis, having had 2 episodes requiring hospitalization between February of 2008 and now. I suspect her medical and emotional state has been adversely affected by the sustained level of conflict and the many trials and legal proceedings in this case. It is at this moment that I must tell you that that's it. I don't know why I was speaking like that. So those are all the documents that I have for you today. I hope that this was insightful and gave you some new information. I really spent the whole weekend reading. It was actually, I can't complain. That's probably what I would have done anyway. What I would like to ask you is let me know what you want to see for my next video, because I have 2 ideas. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might not do any of them, but just I'm curious what your opinion is. I've been mentioning the Charles Vallow and Cheryl Wheeler divorce documents, which include a lot of accusations of inappropriate things that Charles was doing, and then also the Wayfair thing. Have you guys heard about this crazy theory? It's a conspiracy theory. Long story short, Wayfair, the furniture store, I buy a lot of things from them. They are accused, either knowingly or unknowingly, of on their website there are items that are being sold at very, very high prices compared to the perceived value of said items, and they are given names, and these names seem to coincide with missing children, and people believe that they're selling the missing children under the guise of these furniture items that are really expensive. Is that making sense? So that's just a quick little thing. But would you be interested in a video about this Wayfair conspiracy? Are they selling missing children on Wayfair? Or do you want to see the Charles Vallow document dump analysis first? Or are you not interested in any of them? Either way, let me know. Also, if you don't care and you'll see whatever I post, put that in there too. Say, I don't mind, whatever. It's just so that I know what people want. Okay, sorry for that long thing. I'm just curious. All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Stay safe out there. Bye.